In 1985, our two beloved action heroes went shirtless to see who could hold a light machine gun the best. Today on Versus, it's Commando versus Rambo First Blood Part 2. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Andrew.
And today on Versus, we are taking a look at two of the better 80s action movies, I think. You know, they're wild and crazy. They're wilding out. 1985's Rambo, First Blood Part 2. 1985's Commando, Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Sylvester Stallone. You couldn't get any bigger in that action column, I don't think.
For the next several years.
For the next several years, they kind of went back and forth. I think Arnold probably won out overall later on, but yeah. So we've got a Commando here who directed by Mark L. Lester of Armed and Dangerous and Showdown in Little Tokyo fame. And on the other side, we got Rambo Part 2, directed by George Cosmostis. Not really a lot on his credit. I think he's got a few small, decent films. One of them being Tombstone, which is not a small film, but he doesn't have a lot of films. But the ones he did, most of them were decent. Tombstone probably my favorite of all of them.
And Mark L. Lester did Showdown in Little Tokyo, which we reviewed on this channel. It's if you use the search function, you'll find it. And we had a lot of fun doing that one. Yeah, you and Chris reviewed that. I think we need to do a commentary or something. I think on that one of these days. I think that'd be really fun. It's been a long time since I've seen that. So, we've got a couple fun movies here. One's a little bit more serious than the other. One's a little more realistic than the other. Like, we got 5 categories. Most of them are the same. We didn't want to do score this time though. We wanted to talk about the score just real quick, but we didn't want to do it this time. I felt like an action movie, and unless you're seeing like an Indiana Jones, Star Wars, like a John Williams type production, or a James Cameron movie, or not even James Cameron, but you know what I mean, like something like that, something big, or a horror movie. Your score and your stinger, stuff like that, just doesn't always make that big of a difference. Not to say that the score and the music in this in both of these movies weren't decent. So we wanted to break down normal categories or split them up and talk about them a little bit more in depth on this go around, I think. So that's why we chose that. I did want to mention the score though for Commando, just how schizophrenic and crazy it was.
Yes.
You've got a John Carpenter kind of keyboard thing going on, and you've got like a cannon shot drums going on, kind of like Def Leppard's Hysteria sound. You've got this Far East woodwinds thing going on underneath, and then over the top of that, you've got this like Jamaican steel drum thing doing the main melody. And then to top it off, there's some like 80s action saxophone in there. It's wild.
It's wild. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. It really is.
It's like the left side of your brain really likes it, and the right side of your brain's going, "What are you doing to me?" I don't get it.
Yeah. Nothing too big on the score side of things for First Blood Part 2. Just kind of run of the mill stuff. I don't think that said that it's not effective or anything like that. I think it's effective and it fits really well. It's just not as wild and crazy as Commando. It's not quite as autistic. That said, I want to list off the categories here, and like I said, some of these people will recognize. Actually, most of them should all recognize. We just decided to split them up. So instead of going score, we decided to split acting and characters up, because we wanted to kind of just briefly talk about those a little bit more in detail, separate from one another, because you've also got like very similar protagonists, but also kind of different. Story is also there, overall actions there, and then your kills is there. So not a lot of different, just the split up. So I guess I've also got Chris's picks. I don't want to forget that. We've got Chris's picks. He's also still busy, not here yet. Some stuff came up. He was actually going to join us, but some stuff came up. We're going to have his picks for you, though. So There should be no ties or any of that nonsense.
Some of that Home Alone nonsense.
Yeah, this is a no nonsense versus. It's gonna let off some steam. I'm not as cool as Schwarzenegger when I say it. So, first off, story. Andrew, I'm gonna let you start on story this time. So, what say you on story? Who gets story for you?
Okay. So for me, story goes to Commando. While I like the realism, First Blood Part 2, well, there was a real issue, with POWs and everything in the 80s. I guess they discovered a POW in 79 was the last one to come home, and so all throughout the early 80s, there was worry about that. I love the bonkers story of Commando.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and it held my attention more. It's just a preposterous story.
Yeah, and you say that they're both realistic to a point. Rambo being very realistic, very because it's inspired from real events, which is the reason why I chose it. Spoiler, and also Chris chose it too. We both chose Part 2, First Blood Part 2. Just like you mentioned, the POWs, this being a big problem in the early 80s, right after Nam. And, you got the anti-war crowd. They didn't want to start a war. And so basically, despite whether he was going to find anything or not, and they didn't think he would, but even if he did, they were just going to sweep it under the rug. Because they weren't about to let the public know what's going on, because they don't want to spark any more hate towards the country, towards the veterans. Veterans are already not seen in a good light here at this time, especially, and we don't want any further reason to get mad and go to war with anybody. So we're just going to sweep it under the rug. Happens all the time. Happens this day. So it hit home for me. That's why I chose it. Commando on the other side, people, including us, stage coups all the time, which is what this crazy Bond type villain wanted to do. Was a South American, I believe, dictator. Just wanted John Matrix. Sorry, two Johns here. Not John Cena. John Matrix wanted to.
It took him 12 rounds.
Yeah, it took him 12 rounds, but he finally won his daughter in a cage match, and he abducted his daughter, and he's basically holding his daughter hostage, blackmailing him to assassinate the South American president or leader, so he can become the dictator of South America. In a nutshell, just another Sunday in the land of the Bond villains, basically the over the top crazy 80s action villains.
I'm surprised he didn't live in a volcano.
I wish he would have. I wish it would have been that. That would have been awesome. I feel like there would have been even more fire and explosions than there already was, and that's hard to do. There's a lot of explosions in this. Overall, both great stories, but I think everything just in between is so over the top, and it's done in an over the top way that it makes it crazy, it makes it ridiculous, and I appreciate that. But yeah, Rambo gets that for me, and Chris picks it for the same reason.
I can dig it.
Can you dig it, sucker? Oh yeah, dig it. Acting, or no, we're going to do characters first. I want to do characters first because it can kind of lead into acting. I'll take characters. Characters, I chose Commando. And Chris also chose Commando.
Well, in that case, I'll tell you, I chose Commando.
Awesome.
So we can just talk about what we like about it.
Very good. So characters in Commando. Not to take anything away from Rambo First Blood Part 2, because John Rambo is an amazing character. Awesome character. Mm-hmm. The guys around him, that Colonel, awesome. I don't know if Hideo Kojima looked at this movie when he was making Roy Campbell for Metal Gear Solid, but I feel like that was it. If that's not the case, I'm going to assume so anyway, because that's who I see every time. I see Colonel Roy Campbell. It's just something about it, yeah. And I don't think you're familiar with Metal Gear probably, but I'll have to show you sometime. I just see it all over for some reason. Just that perfect '80s, the '80s Colonel, I guess. Just it's almost cliche at this point, I guess. But love the characters in Rambo.
Murdoch, don't forget Murdoch.
I love, Murdoch was that perfect slimy bureaucrat, like they all are, right? And even the mercenaries in the group just did what they were told. They did what they were getting paid for. But not a list of bad actors. Not who was the Russian?
Steven Burkoff.
Yes, Steven Burkoff. Thank you.
2 years ago.
Yes, thank you. He's a bad guy. One of the bad guys in Octopussy. Very good. Because you got to have those Russians in there. You know what I mean? It's the 80s, brother. Absolutely. It's the 80s, brother. Great characters.
We're all about killing mercs and commies. So
that's right. That's right. So not bad, right? But you got Commando, where you have over the top, crazy ass Arnold Schwarzenegger and John Matrix. You've got David Patrick Kelly in his not creepiest, not slimiest, not dirtiest role, but it's getting there, And by the way, folks, if you've not seen a role, I challenge you to find a David Patrick Kelly role where he's cleaner than he is than Sully in this movie. I mean, just as far as clean cut, shaven, decent hair, suit. He's slimy. He's a creep, but he looks like he actually had a shower, and I commend David Patrick Kelly for that in this movie. But you have, was it Cook? I think. Great. Strong,
a building. Yes.
Great, strong, silent type. Had some great scenes. Him stealing that car at the beginning was hilarious. Awesome. But just overall, I think just the overtopness. Bennett, Dan Hedaya as the bad guy, the one who wants John to kill the leader, to assassinate the leader, so he could be the leader. He can be the dictator. Who I believe you told me he's which Dan Hedaya is Jewish.
Yeah.
They love to whitewash things, but he is.
Some bronze and have him talk like Razor Ramon or Tony Montana.
Yeah. It's the same thing they do in Bond movies or anything else too. They always find somebody who's not that nationality, not that race or whatever, and
Robert Davi,
and was it License to Kill or the other one?
Yes,
right? One of the Timothy Dalton ones. Yeah,
it was License to Kill.
Yeah, Julia Nixon in this, who speaks with a very, very good American accent. I don't even know if she has any kind of Vietnamese or Asian accent of any kind. Anyway, really tried in this one to do some kind of broken English shit that just was bad. Like, just don't do it. You're already messing up. You've got the look. Just don't do it, because it sounds even worse. Yeah. If someone today is sensitive as everybody is, would just probably like, that's racist. Yeah. Which
she did a couple episodes of Babylon 5, which is a show that I liked when it was on.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't talk like that. So I'm thinking, she may have ancestry, but she's full on American.
Yeah, for sure. She's pretty close. But anyway, Commando, great actors, great characters. Great characters, just over the top. I guess maybe I should say one last thing. Radon Chong, okay, she's okay. She kind of got big there for a little while in the 80s. Whatever. She didn't do bad in this, but was whatever. We all picked Commando for characters because of that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So that leads us into acting. So we can kind of get into this a little bit more in detail. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger. You got Sylvester Stallone. Protagonist versus protagonist. Character-wise, acting-wise, I'd give the acting to John Rambo, and this I'd give it to Sylvester Stallone, and that character's a little more serious, a little more realistic, but you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger with those amazing one-liners.
Right.
That, I'm a sucker for one-liners, right? So, I mean, does that mean it's the best acting movie? No, but it's fun. great lines. That makes it more memorable to me. Memorable.
To me, it's a little bit of a wash because Arnold's so over the top, and then on the other side, Sly's like so straight.
Just almost too serious. Like
almost
too
serious.
Yeah.
Which you would be in that situation, but it's just
I think.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead.
To me, I'll tell you, I picked First Blood Part 2. I really like the scene between Troutman and Murdoch after John Rambo's left on the extraction hill.
Mm-hmm.
They have a couple of really good exchanges there that really just make me lean heavy toward First Blood.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone does just enough. I like the scene where he finally gets to put like 600 rounds in all the equipment at the end.
Yeah.
That's played off really well. That's fun to watch.
Well, because you kind of get that at the beginning, that little foreshadowing, which is a couple foreshadowing moments in this. You get that where he's just kind of looking around. He does all the computers are what's supposed to guide him through that mission, and that's not who he is, and that's not what it's about. For him, he's So that was kind of a I'm tearing these down. This means nothing to me, especially after you get in here. And I didn't get any equipment because he got hung up, and then they abandoned him. Just a great scene. I think you mentioned the two, Murdoch and Troutman, the colonel, getting into it after they abandoned him, and Troutman figured it out. He ran down this list, just tearing a new asshole in him about being a slimy bureaucrat who just we don't which Troutman was trying to play it off as we don't want another war. Totally understandable. I get it from that perspective, but Troutman just basically call him slime ball, which he is. A lot of great it's everything that we know the war machine and the government to be, especially in these last 40-50 years, and we've come to find out or really wake up to. So it really hits home, especially now. I think somebody who watches this now would be like, wow, I mean, this is as bad as Vietnam was, and I mean, he straight up called Vietnam a nonsense thing then in the movie.
Yeah.
Everybody knew, and it's just it's so much rings true today with other things too. It was a great scene. You didn't get that in Commando, and which, by the way, Chris and I both chose Rambo for acting as well. There's that scene with him and Troutman at the beginning, right before he leaves for the mission, who basically he says, hey, what he says about his Marines, they weren't where he said they were. They weren't as part of Vietnam. They weren't there. They were in such and such, and I can't remember the name, but he's like,
I think he said Cut Sing.
Cut Sing, something like that. Cut Sing, and he's like, you're the only one I trust. So yeah, that was just a really good. There's a couple good sequences there. Also, that little bit of foreshadowing I like. It has nothing to do with acting, but he said something to that dude who ran the boat, and he flipped over that seat and saw the rocket launcher, the RPG. It's like, oh, that's getting used later, and it did. Yeah, a lot of great moments, a lot of great dialogue. I think there's a lot of great dialogue in Commando with the one-liners. Yes. I love all the stuff with with pretty much everybody in Commando and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hilarious. Just doesn't have that same. When you talk about acting in a film, that's not what you think of. That's just fun, right?
I like David Patrick Kelly. I think I was telling you earlier, I really like the scene with Bennett and Matrix down in the boiler room.
Yes.
Where they're having the knife fight. And there's this great bit of acting where Bennett's off just a little bit anyway, and Matrix is telling him, you want to twist it. Come on, Bennett, let's party. Yeah. And there's this look on his face as he's holding his knife phallically out in front of him. Yeah. He's got this orgasmic look on his face. It's priceless. And I almost wanted to choose it just for that scene, but I couldn't do it.
That's pretty good. Then of course you have the in Rambo you have the scene with the love interest, the woman, the other agent who has the terrible accent, who ends up getting shot. Just like right after he promises he'd take her home with him, just boom, gone. That was like, oh well. It's like, well, I know something's going to happen, but you didn't kind of expect it to happen right then, right after she gets up. Right. So, moving on, that's 2-1 in the favor of Rambo, right? So, you got characters with Commando, you got acting and story. Rambo wins out. So, 2-1, we're moving into action. And for action, I straight up chose Commando, and so did Chris, just to get it out of the way. Overall,
okay,
just great. I think the action in Rambo, really good. A lot of great sequences. The helicopter chase was good. The helicopter scene where he went in and to save those POWs at the end, right before that scene, and just destroyed the village, was great. I think the kills, all the hunting people down was really great. I think that was fun. But I think just the overall variety and funness of Commando is what sends it over just a little bit for me, with the car chases and he's escaping the plane through the landing gear and jumping out of it into like a little river or swamp area,
marsh,
and then, little marsh, and you have that in the car scenes. You have the scene at the end where he's got, Rambo has his light machine gun moments, but you've also got John Matrix light machine gun moments, which I thought was a little bit better done, just a lot more to it. I thought it was a little nice touch where it was the effects where he was walking through the garden or that little hedge row with the flowers, and as he was sawing people down with that light machine gun, you could see the flowers get cut in half. I thought that was a good effect. It made it seem like it was a real deal, which it may. I don't know if it was a real deal or not. Just nobody on the other end. I don't know how they done that. I don't know if there's any like footage or anything of that, but really good effect, I thought.
Yeah, it looks like they drew that one up in a storyboard and brought it to life.
Yeah, it was right. It was great.
So I went the other way, and I went First Blood. Main reason being, they're both taking down villages full of people, and
yes.
But I've never seen another movie, and maybe somebody in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen another movie with a helicopter chase like that. And that scene where they're going down the river, and his copter's about shot down, and he goes down and comes up with the rocket launcher.
Awesome.
That whole scene.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know if it's cost prohibitive. Yeah. I don't know if it's cost prohibitive because, choppas are expensive to get for movies, and this one had two, but
well, good
that
Lord,
scene alone,
the kind of choppers, like that one that Surkoff had or whatever his name was. Good Lord.
Tiger Heli or whatever it was.
Yeah, good Lord, that was awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, so action, it sounds like Commando takes it 2-1 then.
Yeah, Commando. Sounds like it wins out. But I it's really close on that one. I think it just, like I said, I think overall fun, craziness, just seems to go to with the hotel scene was funny too. That was good. Yeah. Just a knockdown, drag out fight between him and old Duke. What's his name? Old Cook. Bill Duke was just hilarious. Then of course you had your gratuitous boob shot and the guy in the other room, and the woman and the guy in the other room. Just really sends that 80s action over the top. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I also like the scene in the mall. We both watched this great. In the last week. Yeah. Did you see Dick Warlock in that scene?
I didn't know.
He gets knocked down the stairs and he's like, "Hey, lady!" He's trying to tell her something to Radon Chong. Oh, and
okay.
he's the one that's got a speaking part besides the first two.
Man, but, I missed that. That's cool. Okay, that's cool. Well, another point to Commando then.
But I like that whole sequence too.
Yeah, that was good.
He's got Sully up in the phone booth and gives him the
give him like a military attitude adjustment thing or whatever it is now. Fireman's carry. Well, that ties it up 2-2. This is for all the marbles. We're going for kills here. So I'm gonna let you want to take kills since I took the last couple?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take kills. So for kills I took Commando. It's just it's so over the top. That kill with Bennett at the end, let off some steam, Bennett. Yes. That's just so ridiculous.
Yeah. The steam actually coming out of and like mind you, this is not just him impaling him, like knocking him into something or him falling on something. He literally threw this freaking pipe righted his
Sure
chest. Just ridiculous. I mean,
the scene, not even counting, when he takes down the village, but that scene when he's taking out all of his former men, he's dropping Sully into, off that hill with one arm, which I guess I read somewhere, it's on the internet, so it's true. Mark L. Lister said that Arnold said Mark L. Lister wanted him to do that for real and hold Sully for real over that ledge, and he's just like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
There's no way. There's absolutely no way. Like, Alex, I don't care how confident or strong you are, I would not do that. No. Wouldn't let nobody do it. I wouldn't do it. Nobody. Yeah, and how about David Patrick Kelly with that inhuman, like, sniveling scream? Like,
it's only he could do.
Yeah, just the craziest, great one-liners. Rambo had some cool kills. Chris picked Rambo, by the way. Had some cool kills, him coming out of the mud. The village stuff with the chopper was amazing. A lot of stealth kills, a lot of one-on-one, very, very smart kills. Liked all of them. The explosive little dart ends on the arrows, explosive arrows, that was pretty cool. You get down there, you almost half expect him to pick that chicken up, right? Like in Hot Shots and fire.
I was waiting for it, actually.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Yeah, I thought that was real. That was just a Hot Shots thing, I guess. Charlie Sheen's a way more of a badass, I guess.
Right.
No.
He kill you with one kiss.
Yeah, exactly. I really did enjoy the kills in Rambo. I just Commando though was for me a little bit better. And I think just because you have the one-liner quips in there.
Yes.
Like I said, with Sully and dropping him. The Bennett one was good. But like the one that like really sends it over the edge for me was the airplane one. Him elbowing him, making it look like it was an accident, nonchalantly. No one sees him, no one hears anything. Cracks his neck, covers him up. Excuse me, please don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired, and just amazing. That for me, that's why I picked Commando. Just that one. There's so many good ones, but that's why I picked Commando. So
I also like that scene in the gardener shed where he's taking out the guys with like saw blades.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Rams a pitchfork through him. It's great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just more versatile, right? There's more creative stuff going on around.
Yeah.
I think that's why. I think it just depends on who you are, and what you're in the mood for. You've got a very realistic approach to a movie that definitely the better film, right, overall. But over here, you've got your almost typical cliche 80s action movie that we've all come to know and love and have fun with, make fun of. It's a spectacle, And I was reading something the other day, and I haven't heard this term, I think, yet put in the way that it just fits so well, and I think I'm going to steal it. Is escapism. It's just the shortest way I could say, because I've talked about this before, just in a little bit longer rambling way that I always seem to do, but escapism. Just sometimes it doesn't have to be the best film if things are fun enough and just enough believable enough to get you to forget about everything for an hour and a half and have fun with it. Not like I said. Yeah. It's there's a lot better films out there. There's a lot probably funner films out there, but between these two,
and that's what this channel's about. It's just having fun with movies, basically.
Yeah, exactly. If First Blood 2, 3, all of them. I'm going to always go back and watch them. I'm going to love them. They're great. They are great films. Most of them. That first one is just so special. But you go back out of all the action heroes, out of all the action movies, I go back and I watch most of Schwarzenegger's the most.
Yeah,
I just do. And Commando is one of those. It may not be top tier Arnold, but it's like high mid tier Arnold. So
yeah, I think if I did a ranking, it'd be somewhere around 5 or 6.
Yeah, we probably should. I don't know if we have done that. We probably should rank some Arnold movies, because I would probably put it 5, 6, 7, somewhere around in there for sure. It has to be mid-range for sure. Along with Last Action Hero, that is severely underrated.
Yeah. And this movie is almost as ridiculous as Last Action Hero.
It is. It's just Last Action Hero is a lot more self-aware. This one was still trying to be, an action serious movie for mostly. So we got winner chicken dinner. Looks like with Commando. So at the end of the day, sometimes your machismo and your fun, crazy one-liners just wins out, man. And that's
right.
That's like me in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? I'm handsome. I'm funny, and I have the best one-liners, some tremendous tremendous one-liner. No, I'm not gonna go into that.
I work with them. I know some people who might disagree.
yeah, they would, but you know what? They're not as cool. They're just not cool. They wouldn't know what it's like. Yeah, and now I've personally attacked them in a public forum. So now they're really going to be mad. Because now it's out there for the whole world to see. It's all in good fun. Arnold Schwarzenegger ended up winning kind of, I think, the Hollywood war of best action hero. Personal opinion. And you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with either one of these guys, either one of their movies, for the most part. But, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I'd buy that for $1.
Speaking of that, we actually need to review RoboCops on here. We haven't done that yet. I don't think we have it. I don't think we have anyway. Yeah, I don't think we have anyway. So we need to do that, and we've also got some cool stuff coming up for everybody. That's going to be just kind of a little versatile. We want to do something with Bond and a couple other things, but we're not going to give it away just yet. We're going to announce that real soon once we finalize a few things. And we're gonna be back with probably a whole slew of stuff that's gonna, I'd say, the next 2 months worth of stuff. I'd say, and also don't forget to check out Andrew's solo channel on that too. He's reviewing some of his other favorite movies. He just did a Summer of '86.
Yeah,
and
a lot of fun action movies there.
Yeah, just a little bit of everything. I do some gameplay on my personal channel. His is Drew's Reviews. I don't know if I said that already. Mine's Smith's Grove Sanitarium. We're going to be doing some solo stuff on that too. Mostly Halloween related content. I might do some gaming content on there as well. But yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff coming down the pike, and a lot more verses. So stay tuned for that. So anyways, guys, that's it for us right now. We hope you like this. Let us know in the comments what you guys think, and we will see you all next time.